Hi everyone, we're going to be talking about rigid sterilization containers. And so if you remember before when we were in the lab, we talked about how to assemble an instrument tray. So I came over here to our sterile processing lab. This is the prep and pack area. So this is where they would be doing this in the hospital, in the prep and pack department of sterile processing department. So the instrument tray is already assembled and prepped. So at this point, we're looking for a matching pan. So you want to make sure that you get the right size pan that matches your tray. This is a major tray. And if, at the hospital, all of these pans are going to be labeled with what type of tray it is. This tray right here says major tray on it right there. So we know we have the correct one. We always want to remember to put a sterile indicator into our tray that we have prepped. Remember this steam integrator, chemical integrator that we talked about before. So we're gonna put that in there. We wanna put that face up where it can be seen when the lid comes off, all right? I'm gonna make sure everything's just kind of low profile here. And we're gonna get our pan. And one of the first things we wanna do is just look inside of here and make sure that it's clean and dry. This one doesn't look so clean, but it does look dry. However, we would make sure that it's clean and dry. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna set this pan of instruments that we've already prepared. We're gonna set that in there. The next thing we have to do is put some filters in the top of this lid. So what we're gonna do is, and these filters come in different sizes, different shapes. Some are round, some are square, some are rectangular. So you wanna make sure that you're getting the right filter for the right tray. Just gonna set that in there like that. This has only one way that it goes. It says top here, kind of hooks under there. And then, let me hold it up so that you can see that, and I think we looked at this before in the lab, but this has to be pushed down. It's not working. Can't hold it. Pushed down and then locked into place there. So you can see how I've locked it into place. So we'll do that with the other one. Insert this in there, push this down, lock this into place. Okay, so now the lid is ready to go. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put this on here, and there's this latching mechanism. If you look here, this little hook is gonna hook onto this ridge right here. You're gonna push that down. Same with the other side here. You can see the hook and this little ridge. Push that down, lock it down. All right, now the next thing that they're gonna do is insert these little locks into the tray. And again, there's a couple different types. For this tray, there are these little arrow latches. For other trays, they may look like this, where they slip through and they lock this way. Notice how they each have dots on them. These dots are the chemical integrator. So this gives you that visual cue that it's been exposed to some sort of sterilant. So we look on this tray right here, there's a little slot right there. You can see that. So this little arrow is going to slide into there and it's going to lock in place, all right? And the same thing we will do over here. There's usually only a slot on one side. There's the slot here. We're gonna put that arrow in, and you wanna make sure when you put it in that chemical integrator dot is viewable. So you wouldn't wanna put it in with it against the tray. It will not be seen easily. So the thought is twofold. Once this has been exposed to the steam sterilization process, this will turn a dark brownish black. It will give you that visual cue that it's been sterilized. Also, it's gonna, it kind of gives you this tamper-proof mechanism, because if this is intact, when you bring it into the OR, you know that its integrity is still good. However, when we get ready to open it in the OR and we pull these handles up, it's going to break this lock, damaging the integrity, right? And we talked about
related sterility, where once part of the integrity is compromised, then that tray would have to go back and be re-sterilized. So at this point, we got our locks in. That's good. There's a couple other things that we need to do. Most sterile processing departments have some sort of little card that actually slips into one of these slots. This one doesn't fit into here, but essentially it would be, information would be written on here. It says sterilization number, load number, and sterilization date. This is typically where we put a special little sticker. And if you've seen, you know, like you can sticker things like price tags and things, this is a similar gun to that they use in the prep and pack department. It has some little numbers here on the front. Those numbers will indicate which sterilizer it was sterilized in, which load is this for the day. Is it the first load? Is it the fifth load? And then the Julian date. Remember, the Julian date is that January 1st through December 31st, 1 through 365. So there would be, this number on here right now is set for 70. All right, 70. Somebody figure out what that Julian date is and get back with me. So they would set that. You're just gonna put that sticker on here. Typically, the site wants you to put your initials on here as well, and then that's gonna get slipped into the slot on the tray. All right, so say that there is an issue with this tray. Say you open it up in the operating room and it's wet underneath inside the tray. This is gonna be something important that you take back to sterile processing so that they can look and see, oh, what sterilizer was it ran in? Maybe we should check that sterilizer and see if it's working properly or if it's malfunctioning. And then it's also gonna allow them to look at the load number. When they run a load of instruments, they're gonna write down on a list every single piece of equipment that was sterilized in that sterilizer in that load on that day. They can pull those from the shelf and they can check those. They can do some spot checks to see if other items in the load are also wet or there's something going on with them. Okay, so now at this point, this card would be in here, and then this would get loaded into a big rolling cart. And then as soon as that cart was filled, would be pushed into the sterilizer for sterilization. And again, this uses the steam sterilization process. I think that's it. Thank you.